Van here with VanLife Biker Show. Smash that like, give me a sub, and share, guys. Let's build this channel. Appreciate your support. Hey, Van here, VanLife Biker Show. I think we're rolling. I pretty much just finished an entire episode, and for some reason it cut short. So we'll start over. And this is why I'm a little behind on filming, guys. It's pretty tough being a one-man show. But we just purchased a horse trailer a week or so back, and just wanted to get you guys up to date. Window here for the horse's head, and back there in the back you could open that up to keep him cool in the rear end. As you can see, she's old and crusty, and I've tried and tried and tried to get this thing cleaned up, but here lies the issue mainly. We'll get another shot of that. I think you can see it though. Now that's a little brighter. I think it was clear coated at one time, because these aluminum trailers are really difficult, a lot of maintenance. So I'm not only fighting the aluminum, where you actually have to cut the aluminum at this point in order to get into it. Polishing days are over, but with a clear coat paint, you're literally pretty much going through the paint of your car. So I tried and tried and tried many things, and I got this little area here pretty decent shape, as you can see, here to the top to the bottom. A lot nicer. I mean, a little bit of shine in there. You can kind of see my hand, but this was hours and hours and hours of polishing with buffer pads and different compounds and such. So before we get inside, just want to kind of take note of, this is an lower door and this would be an upper door, but these are all screwed together now, so for security reasons, which I'm not going to argue with. And we got a hole here which I'm going to utilize to bring the exhaust out for the generator, putting a generator in there. So here's another spot. If you can notice, it's a clear coat on there. There's another good spot you can notice, I'm sure. Hard to see what you can see until I start editing stuff, but I'm sure you guys can take note of how it fades a little shiny, and voila. Can you see my shirt and pants there? I mean, we're finally getting some success. Look at this, guys. This is called a cut. I had to educate myself on this. Like I say, we're all learning together on this journey. So just went to Harbor Freight, got me old cheapo polisher. Had to buy this separate, and these pads you buy. And I got them from a company which is not sponsored, as you all know. Everything I do, paying for all this stuff myself, just out of the goodness of my old heart. Just trying to educate the world and, help you on your journey. But it's a pretty decent little kit. I think I paid about $100 for it. You get a polish, I believe it was the Pro 40 that came with it, probably the smaller bottle, I don't know. I bought one of these separate. Here's a Pro 25. It's like a finishing polish, which I'll be able to use on the Harley as well. We're using the brown, which is the harder cut right now. And they say your first cut is the most important, so really spend some time on that. And I'm using the orange, yellow type of pad. That seems to be the highest well, one of the higher grits anyway. So then I'll go to this guy, and then we'll use the green, and then you use the white, which is kind of like a towel. I mean, that white is real nice and small, soft, and then we'll go to the blue. So you have to do it all over and over and over again, and it's not like a buffer pad like where you would wax a car. If you noticed that earlier, the front of this thing. So you actually do it like this. You're literally cutting inch by inch to grind into the aluminum. That's what you're doing. You're taking a layer off. You're making it thinner. So a lot of labor involved in this. This is kind of textured. It's probably had some metallic, I'm guessing. If you're as old as I am, I know you know what I'm talking about. I used to use it on bass boats, but it's old, faded, gone, and I've decided to just leave it. I think I'm just going to repaint it, so that'll require polishing this aluminum out here and in here. Get in here with some shallow masking tape, and you know, I'm gonna have to get some 1/4-inch stuff or something, and get in there and tape that all off, mask it, and then I'll just repaint it with bed liner is my thought, because I'm going to put some bed liner on the van. So this is where the horses would enter if you've never experienced the inside of a horse trailer. And why did I go with a horse trailer? Well, the mess we're in the world right now, there's very few working in these factories. So I went to the big blue box store and I said, how much for a 6x12, I believe it was. And out the door it was going to be about $3,500 or so. And so I said, okay, great. So I've got the credit card through them, and I would have gotten 5% off of that, you know, help with the tax, I guess. And you know, sounds good, let's do it. I wanted a new one, and they're about 6 months on back order. So you can't tell me that you're telling me the truth. First of all, 6 months down the road, nobody knows. That's where they're at. So I said, okay, well, I'll just start searching on, you know, yard sales lots and Craigslist, and, you know, searching for a used one. So I found a few on Craigslist. You couldn't get to them fast enough. They were sold so fast because there is a major shortage. So and then the other thing I found out is their going rate's $5,000, guys. So yeah, rewind, I just said $3,500 for a new one, $5,000 for a used one. So me and my budgeting mind, always thinking, I decided to go a horse trailer route and come across this guy for $2,000. And it's, you know, it's really the same thing besides the windows. If I would have bought a 6x10, 6x12 or what have you enclosed trailer, I wouldn't even have the windows. So I really enjoy this a little more. And the other thing with those, which I never did get a straight answer, but my gut tells me that's the way they're made, is they're starting to make them like a V in the front. So these interior walls, or exterior as well, would be more of a V. So you're not even getting 6x10 or 6x12, whatever trailer you purchased, because that V is going to cut some of your interior square footage out. So this is a, you know, slightly shorter. I think it is 10. Yeah, it's 10 foot 1 inch. So you know, if you're out of the country, I don't know what the conversion is on that, but you know, 10 of your feet is pretty close. So a little over 10 feet, and you know, it'll fit a Harley in here easily. My Harley's about 8 feet, hence why we're putting some straps on this lift, because I'm going to have to move the front tire slightly forward, and hence why I shifted this in its last position. If it doesn't work, I'll pop another hole, and we'll put another brace up there, maybe all the way across even. So just kind of playing with some ideas at the moment and getting stuff shoved in here and trying to get some polishing done. The kitchen remodel is kind of on hold, so I was able to jump into this and play with this guy a little bit. This is the latest new toy, I guess. So I was trying to get it shined up. The wife said just leave it the way that it is. Why are you even bothering? But I think she's going to be pleasantly, well, she already is. It's starting to get shined up, and it's just the first cut. So on the outside aluminum, I think it's really going to clean up well. It's just endless hours, probably weeks of out here grinding and grinding and grinding, and then you switch to a finer grit pad and compound and grind and grind and grind all over again, and then you do it a third time with the fine one, and then you can get into a hand polish with those two other bottles. So, you know, it's probably going to take myself, you know, I'm not built for this. Your body, if you do it every day, of course, you'd be able to do a lot more. And I'm out here in the weather as well, exposed, and not inside a warehouse or garage where you're in the shade. And so, you know, we'll do a few hours every day. I hit it pretty hard yesterday. A little sore today, so figure I would get something posted for you guys. But yeah, I've had this plastic toolbox, roll around. Want to keep the weight down. I really wanted a single axle trailer, and this is a plastic cabinet, old light fixture that I took out of an old Shasta camper that we just use for storage anymore. And I think I'll probably hook that up over that, and maybe put a little workbench or something across there on that lip. So I don't know, I'm thinking maybe a mini fridge or something in between the generator and the cabinet someday. You get one of those little 2-foot tall guys. I've got probably 4 or 5 of them around here, but none of them are the little mini ones. You know, about the size of the generator. You guys know what I'm talking about, the little small guy. You can pick them up for $100. So they can maybe throw another fridge in here. I'd like to have a freezer. Freezer would be great, but probably more expensive, and finding those dimensions, once again, like with what we did with the van, it's not like building a house. You want this dresser, you buy that dresser. You want this bed, you buy that bed. I mean, it's a lot different when you're trying to build a house in, you know, 10 foot of space. So we're kind of in the same situation here, but we're building a garage, so we're limited, and we don't want to get too much tongue weight. Tongue weight is what actually gets lowered onto your vehicle, you know. So that would be why you know, your horse's bodies would be back here in the back and just their head up front. So you can see, you know, double axles, but they're right near the end of the trailer. And now you've got this door space, and about a foot past that, still trailer, and 3 foot of tongue or what have you. So your leverage, you know, is way back that direction. You know, when I was in high school, trying to remember, I know it was definitely 800 pounds I could squat. I want to say 1,000, but too many years ago. But I can't lift this tongue. I've tried. I've had a pretty major hernia surgery a few years back, 4 or 5 years back now, I guess. So I think a lot of my strength has diminished as you get older. It happens anyway, and then when a major surgery like that, it definitely takes it out of you. But my guess is that tongue right now as we speak is probably 500 pounds at least. I wish I had a way of weighing it around the home front here. We'll have to get it weighed eventually, but that's I believe, the tongue weight that I can put on the van. And I could be getting that confused because I know it's 5,000 pounds that I can pull with the van. So the 500 and 5,000 I could be getting mixed up. I'll have to check the specs and stuff again, but that's really why I wanted a single axle trailer. And for that 3,500 that I talked to them about buying a new one, that was a single axle. So you know, I think I got a lot more bang for my buck. I got a double axle, but at the same time it adds overall weight. The extra axle itself, the tires, the rims, the brakes, because you got to have brakes if you got two axles. The extra structure to hold it, you know, probably 500 pounds or something right there. So that takes away from your overall weight, because I can only haul 5,000 pounds with the van. And, you know, that's taken in consideration of all the weight in the van as well, guys. So those sprinters will pull a lot of weight and hold a lot of weight, which is, this would be payload if you're putting stuff in the van. So payload is insanity. Those things carry a lot of weight, and they have to rate that for your towing capacity, which is what this would be. So I can build a house in there and tow 5,000 pounds behind it. So Harleys, they're give or take 1,000 pounds. So we got 1,000 pounds in here. I think this thing weighed in at about 2,600 brand new. If you're familiar with horse trailers, right there's a solid beam, and that steps up. So the lift actually helped me out, or I was going to have to notch that or build up what I'm standing on or chop that all out, which I didn't want to do because it could be some structure stuff there for the van itself and the engineering. So didn't really want to cut it and didn't want to do anything with it. So the lift really works out because it goes over top of it. Where the Harley actually hangs over the end, and we're right here on the end, so that's why I'm pushing the supports here forward. I moved that from the second hole to the third hole, and you know, if we had to, we could drill another hole to shift this forward more. Added these brackets here to put the wheel stop out a little farther, and you know, it's all coming together. Had to make some shifts on the fly, I guess. And shout out to my son if he's watching. There's your lift, buddy, my jack. Happy Father's Day to me. Thank you, son. So that will be to put up here on the lift, so we can raise the whole bike on this. You step on that pedal there and it jacks the entire bike up. And then if I need to get a tire off or something to do a repair, where I had to actually lift the bike, and that jack goes underneath the bike and we can lift the bike up off the lift. So that's all we got for this time, and we'll catch you on the next time. Van Life Biker, and I'm out.